caught in the friends with benefits trap. It was supposed to be simple, a casual arrangement. No strings attached, no complications. I had known Ryan for a while, but it wasn't until recently that we started hanging out more often. The idea of a friends with benefits situation seemed perfect at the time. I could have fun with someone I genuinely liked without the pressure of a serious relationship. What could go wrong? We'd hang out, watch movies, grab dinner, and, of course, hook up. It felt like the best of both worlds. Ryan was easy to be around, we shared similar interests, and the physical chemistry was undeniable. For a while it seemed like the perfect setup. But slowly something changed inside me. I found myself looking forward to our time together more and more, and not just for the physical side of things. I'd catch myself smiling at the thought of him, wondering what he was doing when we weren't together. I even found myself feeling a bit jealous when he'd talk about other girls. I convinced myself that it was just the nature of our arrangement messing with my head. But deep down, I knew the truth. I was developing real feelings for him. It happened one night after an especially amazing evening together. The air between us was light and easy, and there was an undeniable warmth between us. It was in that moment that I decided to test the waters. I casually brought up the idea of us dating for real. "You know," I said, trying to sound casual, "we're pretty great together. Have you ever thought about making this more serious?" He laughed it off. "Nah, I'm not ready for a relationship right now. I like things the way they are. It's simple, no pressure." I felt a tightness in my chest, but I tried to play it cool, hiding my disappointment behind a forced smile. I told myself it was fine, that I didn't need a relationship anyway. But deep down I was crushed. That was the moment I realized I had crossed a line. I wasn't just having fun anymore. I was emotionally invested. A few weeks passed, and I tried to push my feelings aside, convincing myself that I had been silly. Maybe it was just a phase. But then one day Ryan dropped a bombshell on me. "I've started seeing someone," he said casually, his eyes scanning my face for any hint of reaction. My stomach dropped. "Who?" I managed to ask, my voice barely above a whisper. "Her name was Sarah. He'd met her at work. They were serious," he said. And just like that, everything I thought I knew about us shattered into a million pieces. Ryan wasn't just casually seeing someone else, he was in a relationship with her. "Look, I just wanted to be upfront with you," Ryan continued, oblivious to the impact his words had on me. "I hope we can still hang out as friends. You know, like nothing's changed." I wanted to scream, to tell him how much I was hurting, but instead, I just nodded. I forced a smile and said something along the lines of course, no big deal. But inside I was dying. Over the next few days I tried to act normal, but it was impossible. Ryan and Sarah started posting pictures together on social media. And every single picture felt like a dagger to my heart. I couldn't stop comparing myself to her, wondering if she was better than me in some way. Was she prettier? Smarter? Funnier? The questions gnawed at me, and no matter how much I told myself I shouldn't care, I couldn't stop the feelings of insecurity from consuming me. I started avoiding Ryan. When he'd call or text, I'd come up with excuses. "I'm busy with work," or "I have plans" became my go-to responses. He noticed, of course, and asked if everything was okay. But I couldn't bring myself to tell him the truth. Instead, I lied. "Everything's fine," I told him, forcing a smile into the phone. "Just swamped with work." But the truth was, I was falling apart. I couldn't stand being around him, knowing he was with someone else. The jealousy was overwhelming, and it felt like I was suffocating. One night, the pain became too much to bear. I decided I couldn't hide from it anymore. I had to confront Ryan. I had to tell him how I felt. So, I showed up at his apartment, unannounced, determined to pour my heart out. But when the door opened, it wasn't Ryan who greeted me. It was Sarah. "Hi," she said cheerfully, not a hint of suspicion in her voice. "Can I help you?" I froze. This wasn't how I had imagined it. This wasn't how I thought this conversation would go. I stood there for a moment, my mind racing, trying to come up with something to say. But the words wouldn't come. I was suddenly overwhelmed with shame. I felt like the biggest fool in the world. I must have the wrong apartment," I stammered, forcing a nervous laugh. "Sorry to bother you." I turned and quickly left, my heart pounding in my chest. I couldn't stop myself from feeling like I had lost not just Ryan, but my dignity too. I sat in my car, tears streaming down my face. I had come so close to telling him how I felt, but now it was too late. I had waited too long. The truth was, I didn't know what to do anymore. Should I tell Ryan how I felt and risk ruining our friendship forever? Or should I keep my feelings buried and try to move on, pretending like everything was fine? I didn't want to lose him as a friend, but I couldn't keep pretending like everything was okay. The emotional toll was too much. Part of me wanted to scream at him, tell him how much he had hurt me, and how badly I wanted things to be different. But the other part of me was terrified. What if he didn't feel the same way? What if telling him only pushed him further away? I sat there in the silence of my car, unsure of what to do. I knew one thing for sure: nothing was ever going to be the same again. A few days later, I called Ryan. I had thought about what I wanted to say for hours. When he picked up, I tried to sound calm. "Hey, can we talk?" I asked, my voice shaking. "Yeah, of course," he said. "What's up?" I took a deep breath. It was time. "I need to tell you something. I don't know what you'll think, but I can't keep pretending like I don't care." There was a long pause on the other end of the line. "Ryan," I continued, "I've developed feelings for you, and seeing you with Sarah, it hurts more than I can explain. I know we agreed on this friends with benefits thing, but I can't do it anymore. I need to move on, and I need you to know why." He was silent for a moment. I couldn't read his expression over the phone, but I could hear the hesitation in his voice when he finally spoke. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. "I didn't want to hurt you. I thought we were just having fun." I could hear the regret in his tone, but it wasn't enough. The damage had been done. It wasn't easy, but I knew that it was time to let go. I had loved someone who couldn't love me back, and that was a hard pill to swallow. But it was the right decision. I had to move on and take back control of my own life. The road to healing wouldn't be quick, but I was ready to take it one step at a time. And in the end, that was all I could do: move forward and learn from the experience. I still don't know what would have happened if I had told Ryan how I felt sooner. But I do know this: I will never again settle for anything less than a love that is real and mutual. And for anyone out there in the same situation, don't be afraid to speak up. Don't let your feelings fester in silence. You deserve to be loved the way you love. And that's the only way to truly move on.